What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So there's a lot of pressing news that we really need to get to because as of right now, the expectation is there's no bills. There's no stimulus package. The Build Back Better Act is almost dead. The government funding bill is being delayed, right? Nutrition assistance could potentially be ending. Gas prices are rising, right? The issues with Ukraine and Russia, they're ongoing. The United States is still trying to figure out what's going on. You got China butting into things going on with Taiwan, right? Germany's backing out of restricting Russian oil and cutting it off from there. So a lot of stuff going on. But as of right now, the big thing is there's no new bills. None. I saw a YouTube video today. I'm not going to say who put it out there, but they say the bill passed. The bill passed. There's no bill. There's no bill. There's no additional stimulus. There's no additional stimulus checks. The stimulus package that's supposed to be through the Build Back Better Act, that's completely stalled. So there's nothing going on there. Senator Joe Manchin made it very clear yesterday that he doesn't have really the Build Back Better Act high on his priorities list. Today we also found out that multiple senators are actually causing the government funding bill to simply be delayed just a little bit longer. Some are expecting we could see some form of a CR, a continuing resolution, for an additional 10 to maybe 30 days. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he said today he believes this vote will be ready, that this bill will be ready for a vote on Thursday. We heard from House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer today as well, and he expects the government funding bill to be on the House floor no later than Wednesday. He says no later. So the expectation is it will either be tomorrow, which is Tuesday, or Wednesday in 2 days. So we'll see. But the problem is that we still don't have the text of the bill. And the expectation is that we might not have it tomorrow either. And keep this in mind. We have until Friday at midnight. At 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's the last minute. This bill could be signed by President Biden, or else the government would go into a shutdown. Okay? And that's where things get very tricky. Because right now this bill needs to pass. We have to see this pass. Now, some want to include the employee retention tax credits. I'm serious. This isn't a joke. The employee retention tax credits were actually implemented towards the beginning of the pandemic to keep people employed, to give the employer the ability to, and a little more perk, a little more incentives to keep people on, right? But some don't think this should be included. That's going to create more issues. This bill was also supposed to include $32.5 billion for COVID relief and for additional aid to Ukraine. Well, 22.5 of that was supposed to be going to just COVID relief. But at this time, that's likely not to be included. And even Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said today that we will have additional Ukraine aid in the upcoming omnibus bill. Didn't say anything about COVID relief. It was also supposed to get an additional $10 billion for Ukraine aid, but we heard just this afternoon, just a few hours ago, that amount has jumped to $12 billion. We don't know how exactly that will be broken down as of yet, but as soon as we know more, I promise I will bring that update to you as soon as possible. Something that is being talked about, though, is the plan to ban Russian oil. As of right now, we have support on this. Some say this could be pushed into the bill to make it easier for some to vote for other provisions. This is something that has bipartisan support. So we could see this ban on Russian oil get thrown in there into the omnibus bill in order to get Democrats to vote in favor of $22.5 billion for COVID relief. I doubt that's going to happen, but we could see. Again, all of this needs to be hammered out, okay, and voted on. Has to be voted on by the House and the Senate, the exact same bill. Has to then go over to President Biden's desk, and he has to sign it. This all has to happen before Friday at midnight. You see why this is very difficult? It is already Monday night or Monday afternoon, right? That's the issue. We don't got a lot of time. We got 4 days. But speaking of the ban on Russian oil, senior congressional leaders said today that they have reached a bipartisan deal on the bill. Now, right now, lawmakers say that We can't worry about the price of gas here at home. Okay, that can't be our only worry. Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, came out and said today that she said that we must also be focused on ensuring we continue to take steps to deliver punishing economic consequences on Putin, while also limiting the impact of prices at the pumps. So the key is we have to worry about what we're doing to Putin and Russia, because that will prevent this invasion into Ukraine, hopefully. According to many experts, what we do with when we're buying gas isn't really going to impact Russia too much. Now, it will have an economic consequence, but is it going to prevent them from going into Ukraine when they're already there? Most likely not. But will it hurt us at the pumps? According to many, yes. A few economists say no, it won't hurt as bad as many are predicting. Some say we could see gas prices at $10 per gallon. If we do, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be driving as much. I might be putting out more videos because, I'm not going to be going anywhere. I'll be staying right here. But let me ask you this, because I was actually asked this today and I actually saw a few articles asking the exact same thing. And the consensus was almost the same. Would you sacrifice higher gas prices to end the war in Ukraine? Let me know down in the comment section below. I was asked this today and I said yes. I would pay, happily pay, maybe not happily, but I would pay higher gas prices in order to end the war in Ukraine. But at the same time, I would also limit the amount of gas that I'm consuming, right? As prices go up, I drive less. And I think that happens with everybody. So I would be more than happy to pay. If I had to pay $6 for a gallon or $8 or $10 per gallon, I would happily do that because, for one, I could afford it. I wouldn't drive as much, but I would pay it to help preserve human life in another country, because that's what we're seeing. People are dying. It's not just, okay, I'll pay more because, it's just supply and demand. No, that's not the case. It's I will pay more because people are dying. To preserve human life, I would gladly pay more. Okay? But right now, the national average today is $4.06 a gallon nationally. Now, it's expected to rise, more, whether there's a ban on Russian oil or not. But if we see a ban on Russian oil imports, this won't just rise, it will jump. Okay? So keep that in mind as you're watching these updates, and as we're getting more information on what could happen. Just understand, we could see gas prices slowly trickle up, or we could see it jump. Two big differences. But as always, I will be here every step of the way. Now, something else that many people don't realize that could be coming very soon is the fact that the pandemic expansion of school lunches could end suddenly. Right now, schools are just trying to figure out a way to feed their students during the summer months and even next fall. But these free and reduced meals that have been included to children of all ages since really the beginning of this pandemic, right now, they could end on June 30th. But here's one thing most people don't realize. If Congress can't come to an agreement on a government funding bill, this aid will likely end this week. Okay? One of the worries right now is that this provision is going to cost around $11 billion to extend it. And the Democratic Party is so worried, and this is really coming from more moderates, especially Joe Manchin, is so worried about the national deficit that it might not be able to get this extended. This has been seen as a huge benefit. I've talked to multiple people, and not just people I know, but people here in the community that have stated that the free and reduced meals for children, this has been a huge incentive, a huge benefit, because it takes away that not really burden, but that cost of providing a school lunch. Because when you factor in, let's say, a sandwich and a drink and chips or some type of fruit, you're probably looking at $2 to $3 per meal. So $2 to $3. Let's say you go for 5 days a week, right? That's $10 to $15 per week per student. Over the course of a month, 4 weeks, that's what, $40 to $60. That's quite a bit to many families, especially if you live in paycheck to paycheck. And giving somebody an extra $60, $40 to $60 per month, that's seen as a big win. So this could potentially end, and it would be crippling to many lower income families. Let's talk about some Russia news for today. Russia is actually planning a ceasefire tomorrow morning. This is going to allow civilians in Ukraine to get out of the country without being harmed. However, and I would point this out because this is what we were supposed to see happen today. And if you watched the news, you would have seen that multiple television cameras caught it when a family was trying to flee the country and they were killed while crossing the street. Okay? So right now, what many Ukrainians are worried about is that this ceasefire is just another move or a trick to try to lure families and civilians out of their hiding spots to then kill them. So hopefully this is not the case, but if it is, again, this is the worry. This is why some say that even though the negotiations are ongoing, they can't really believe what Russia says. So we'll see what happens, but as always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on, share all latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.